Hello, my crafty friends. It's time for Karen Burniston's March Designer Challenge, and she challenged her design team to create a card with a shaker on it. So this is the card that I came up with. Folded, my card is 7 inches by 5 inches. I did go with a Mother's Day card. It's got a shaker on the bottom, and inside is a pop-up with a heart and those expanding butterflies that I just love. The card does fold down fairly flat. It is a little bit heavy with the shaker element and the double height of foam tape. I will be hand delivering it to our daughter on Mother's Day. So I did pull out a whole bunch of Karen Burniston dies for my card today, but I wanted to talk about how I made the card itself. I made it in 2 pieces. The width of what I can die cut is 6 inches across, and I know not everyone has a larger die cutting machine. So my 2 pieces, one panel, the back panel was 7 by 5 inches. You can see there's a 1/2 inch flap here, that was for the front. So my front panel was 7 by 5.5 inches. I scored that 1/2 inch on the top, but before I adhered it to the back panel, I did make my cut. I was going to cut with the scalloped cloud die, but when I was flipping through my dies by Karen Burniston, I saw the long nature edges and decided to go with that one instead. So it's this die here, and there is a stitched line both above and below the cut line. And now I didn't bring them over the long crosshatch edges. That's one of the smaller dies from that set. So I actually die cut the window from the bottom of the panel, so I know I would have my placement, and then I used the long nature edges to die cut that shape. I just centered it on the card, and now the front of my card was in 2 pieces. I had this piece with the flap on the back, and I had this bottom piece here with the window cut out of it, but they fit together perfectly. I created the shaker like you normally do for a shaker card. I flipped it over so I was working on the back side. I added a slightly larger piece of acetate than the window, and I used a tape runner for that, so that acetate stuck down really well to my little panel. I lined it with foam tape and then added shaker filler. So all the while I was working upside down. Then I took the back panel, because this had not been attached yet, and I laid the back panel over the shaker filler and was able to line up the bottom and side edges. So my shaker was now attached inside the card, and then I used that flap and adhered it to the back side. So you can see there is the 1/2 inch flap there. So now my front was attached to my card back, and the shaker was attached to the inside card, and I had my stitch line. The hearts are from the new crosshatch hearts, and the pattern paper is an older retired pattern paper pad that I've had for a while. I think it's called Flower Market by Cardabella. I've been trying to use it up. I've had it for several years, so I've been just using that up. Once I had the heart on the front, I realized, well, I wanted to put a pop-up inside, and while the hearts were out, I grabbed the street lantern pop-up because it comes with an included pop-up die. So that's what I used to make my little platform there to add the heart to. Then I was going to get the mini pops and add something on either side. The pattern paper pad also came with stickers, and I thought, well, if I did one of the stickers, I could add that. But I know Sandy Diller had done a card where she added the expanding butterflies with strips of acetate. So I took her idea, cut down some leftover pieces of acetate from when I made my window, and the butterflies are the butterfly collage add-on. Now normally these go with the heart collage. They're an add-on set, but I wasn't going to use the mechanism, so I didn't need to use the heart collage part. I just used the butterflies, and I just love these little expanding butterflies. All the butterflies came from that set. I don't plan out my cards ahead. I kind of play as I go. So once my pattern paper was on, then I decided, oh, the sticker would look nice, but I wanted some more of the blue or the aqua from the patterned paper, because I knew I was going to do the love you in kind of that aqua, in an aqua cardstock. So since I had the street lantern out anyhow, I used the greenery from the street lantern on my scalloped edge here. So there's a closer look. You can see the height that is there. Added 3 of those that are inked, and then another 2 on this side here. Happy Mother's Day comes with the shadow from Karen Burniston. Cut out of white cardstock and then more pattern paper from the package. I didn't deviate from that package. I'm really trying to use it up. I also added extra foam tape because, as I said, it's going to be hand delivered. There's another one of the expanding butterflies here that doesn't really float along too much because it is adhered flat on the one side, but I still liked the look of it. There's another little butterfly there with some wink of Stella on the body and the antenna. And I'm not sure if it shows up, but I painted inside that heart on the Happy Mother's Day with wink of Stella as well. My mirrored hearts, they are the mirrored hearts from Cat Scrappiness. Again, they are linked on my blog. I love these little things. I've been using them almost constantly. So when my front was done and I had my butterflies added, I decided for a signing block to once again pull out the slim flaps and frames. They come with a bunch of different rectangles and I use them so much for signing blocks. That's where this is here, and you can see there's a nice little embossed edge, and then of course the hearts are the rainbow hearts that I have also been using almost constantly recently. They are from Doodlebug Designs. And finally, that love you is from the Word Set 9 Love. So I know there's a lot of dies used, but I have the dies. You can add a different shape to the front, you can add a different sentiment. I think this would also make a lovely happy birthday card. The shaker filler is just old from my stash, although you can see there are some of those mirrored hearts in there because I love the shine they give. And hopefully seeing how I used the greenery from the street lantern die as well as the pop-up shows you that even though it is mostly a holiday set, that it can be used year-round, and the pop-up can be used to animate all kinds of things. All in all, I'm really happy with how my card turned out. On my blog on the right-hand side, now if you're using the web version, if you're on a device and you're using the mobile version, it won't show up. You'll have to scroll all the way to the bottom and click on web version. But if you're using a laptop and you check out my blog on the right-hand side, I have the whole design team linked for Karen Burniston. And you can click on their links to see what they've come up with for the challenge. Karen Burniston will have her project tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and we'll get to see what kind of a shaker she used. If you enjoyed my video today, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more. And that's it for me today.